back. Act 4 done. Here's the recap. Long Act 4. Like a long Act 4. I just looked about how many matches I had to edit. That was a lot of matches. Thank you, Brian Michaels. Thank you, Nick Carley, for helping me edit the season, by the way, on some of these long stretches. But we're here to talk about Act 4. Pretty great. Just concluded at the title matches. So that's fun. We will get all into that and discuss matches and then talk about the future of what's coming. What did you guys think overall being there or being around it? How was Act 4? Which I don't remember you guys all. A Brave New World is the title. I don't know what new world we discovered, but we discovered one.
I believe our new world was a GNU Forceless Teams division was what we were referring to. And boy, did that division deliver.
Yeah, I just want to get on what Spence was saying. Like, we'll get the single stuff, but like, let's just talk about the main thing. Like that. Okay, let's talk about the picture in general. 8 teams were competing, or I think it was 9 teams were competing in this picture to decide who was going to get to the top of the mountain. I had a prediction as to who I thought it was going to be. Like, I'll just make this as transparent as I can. I thought it was going to be Kumite going up against Lights, Camera, and Action for that vacant title. Neither of those teams were there, and I think that was super exciting. Like, back to Formula, phenomenal team. Like, obviously, they're your champions. I just didn't think they could beat Kumite in a 3-round match today, and they had the game of their life in that match. And then Blaine Canada, I think, is the story of this whole picture. Easily being Rookie Team of the Year at this point, beating the LCA, beating Bullets, and then that title match, like, it may be my favorite title match ever. Like, just back and forth the entire time, and Jake and Mark just like, congrats to them. And I watched that final moment so many times because you can see the happiness in both those players' eyes when they say, "And you're winner."
Yeah, to touch on that real quick. So I want to address something. A lot of people have messaged me about it. So going back in time, if I could do something different this season, I would probably have given Blaine Canada the loss on their match against Manhattan. That being said, that would not have changed them being in this picture. They were still in this picture, win or loss in that situation. So that wouldn't have changed anything. So somebody was like, well, if you gave them a loss, they wouldn't have been there. That's not true. They won out. They did exactly what they needed to do. They would just not have – they would have 2 losses at the end of this instead of 1 to back to Formula. So – that's what I want to address up front. But no, absolutely. I think when I don't like to toot my own horn, but toot. I think when I met with all the writers and all the staff this season, and I told them my plan for this upcoming season of lowering the difficulty, making the game more accessible for more people, has shown that upsets are way more possible in this season of Melee than ever before. There have been upsets in the past, but like this has been more like the title has changed hands more often than any other season. Good teams have to play super well against each other. I think combining where they have to work together on a lot of the questions, which again, there's disagreements on all fronts. I still will support that tooth and nail that I would love. If you're being in a teams match, I want you to play as a team. Because if I'm playing on a baseball team and I'm not having my best game, number 4 hitter can have their best game to carry that person. Same thing in teams. You should be able to be carried by your team at certain points because not everybody can be 100%. So I love that aspect of what we changed this season. I love where we're going. No, but this absolutely – we sit backstage, we watch all these matches, and the amount of cameras that popped on and was like, what is happening? Shocks and awes is what we built the season out to be. And this Act 4 worked out to be. Kind of a ladder formula. I do want to applaud all the teams and all the players and all the people that had to fight with us through Act 4. A lot of matches got stacked on top of each other, so players were playing basically every 2 weeks at a time. So thank you for dealing with that. I know it's a headache. But I always suggest there has been some player fatigue that I've messaged from people. If you have player fatigue, don't play or lose. Those are your 2 options. because like if you lost, you wouldn't be in this other match. But since you win, you're going to keep playing because you won. So just to let you know, that's the end. Not to mention that, and on top of all the other stuff, where trios is going this season too is just insane. I think trios is one of the biggest bright spots from the season. I guess the audience will tell us if they like it or if they come back, or the players playing if they want to return. But yeah, to get into the title matches, back to Formula versus Blame Canada. We've talked about it a little bit. We'll pause. We'll go to Cameron Holtzman versus Dylan Van first. Dylan coming his way through, he had to beat Payson. That match is absolutely great. Go watch that. Check that one out if you haven't. Again, if you haven't seen some of these matches, please go check them out.
John Cena. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I got a copyright strike, and I will live on that copyright strike for the rest of my life. Oh, by the way, I am like for the rest of this season since Mayhem, I'm pretty much the 80% editor of this channel of Movie Melee. If I do things in a match that you're unhappy with,
that's the best.
2 options. Don't say dumb things on call that I can edit into something, or roll with the punches. Just have fun, because if I'm having fun, I have to sit there and watch you guys answer questions that I've already seen you answer questions. So let me have fun with it, okay? But on that note, Cameron Holtzman, Dylan Van Dyne. Dylan he beat Payson. Who else did he beat? Did he beat anybody else in this?
Jordan, Jeremy, Kirk, me. That was the order.
It's a pretty solid run that he had to go through.
Dylan, we know Dylan very well behind the scenes. He is our co-head writer. He's a salty little guy. He gets pretty. You can watch it on his face in matches. He'll be the first to tell you. I've called him a scumbag for a while now. When things aren't going Dylan's way, Dylan gets pretty frustrated with everybody, not just writers. Don't ever take it personal. He's very competitive, and he just doesn't play it very well. He's also one of the top 3 hosts in this community. I will tell you, like editing his matches, he's a mint out there and editing. But he had to beat a lot. Getting to Cameron Holtzman, it was a rough overall match for Dylan. I will say he played really well when it mattered. We got really close in that round 4, which we made a mistake. It is not full throttle. We do not call it the full throttle round, Coho. I don't know if you added to the doc or not, but I think we called it the risk round. Dylan Van Dyne actually named it. Whatever we can say. But round 1, he had the lead. Ends up Cam spinning his strength. Cam gets 10 for 10, I think, or 9 for 10. 9 for 10 because of footloose.
Yeah, 8 for 10.
And then 8 for 10. And then Wonka and Footloose got him to go multiple choice. And then he spun animation. I've told Dylan this privately. If I was his manager, I'd be screaming backstage because he shoots for I think last wish question.
Yeah, 2 on a Puss in Boots last wish question.
And I was like, Cam has only missed 1 Puss in Boots the last wish question in Melee. He is now, I think, 50% on that, but like guaranteed to hit it. And then just the lead was just everything he missed, he was able to get. Deep cuts, they swept. By the way, you sickos, everybody seems to be doing Aquila and the B. Like, I just don't understand you people. Whatever. A lot of people are using it. Have fun with it. Do your thing. I guess if you study enough of those words, you have to make your opponent watch them. And then risk round, he doesn't bet on the last question. Cam does bet. Cam gets it, but that miss almost convinces. And then we have this long discussion on iRobot. Thank God I edited it out because
the stupidest challenge I think we've ever the most hair pulling challenge I think I've ever done of what is a man? What does it mean to be alive? And I wanted to. No offense. I wanted to throw one of the competitors across their country.
Yeah, Cam was taking me to university and telling me why I just don't understand questions and stuff. It was a lot of fun. Mark, the original writer, came in past the challenge. That's what ended up happening behind the scenes. Whatever the case may be, Cam gets that happens, and then I think Dylan just has one of the worst round 5s of his career. He just can't, none of his wheelhouse, everything outside or close. He's even seen one of the movies, just not in the right headspace. Ends up missing. Cam is the champion. Cam defends, the only person so far this season to defend the title. It does not bounce around. So pretty interesting.
First person to defend since Caleb Bowman dropped it. So it's been an absolute carousel of champions. So good on Cam.
No, I do not like philosophy discussion. I actually would ban them if I could. Yeah, I will say thank you, Coho. He wrote a very nice message on our Facebook page about our 500 subscribers. Pretty cool. He's here for the start. And I don't believe that there's any person that could have written anything about 500 subscribers when he saw the channel at 0. So, and was literally here to start Fandom Fights and take that where it went. And then Melee, yeah. Again, can't believe I think I'm coming on. I don't know how many seasons I've done this show now, but like it's crazy where we started. Five
or six. Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
This is your 6th season.
Because you've been here since the first season. You were doing FANZONE first, so.
Yeah. This is my 6th season. I have now signed on. Like there's a contract. I've signed on for my year 7. Not that anybody like some people are like, God, please leave. No, I'm here. I'm staying on. My team is in place.
I say fuck you. I say fuck you to those people. This man is beautiful. I love him.
I will not listen to you talk anymore. Thank you. But anything else on the singles picture and leading to that road?
I do want to give Cam some flowers, some stats to update. Cameron Holtzman is now the 2nd person ever to hit the 500-point club in singles. He has 525 career points. Which is insane. So he's been
here a long fucking time.
True, but he's also getting close to Caleb Oatman's record. The other record he is close to, he has won 7 consecutive games, which means if he wins one more, he will have tied Andrew Barr's win streak record of 8. So that is a impressive feat in and of himself as well. So good on Holtzman. He's had a great season. He's 7-0 on the year, which is kind of it's a quiet 7-0, but wow, a really really good season he's put together. So
yeah, Cam was always one of the players that never won the big one. Finally put that to rest, and now he did what every champion wants to do: is defend. If you don't defend, like you will never be able to take away the title of former Melee champion out of your resume. But what you can do, like I think you get moved up to the next tier once a defense happens.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing if you're like a 3-time champion, but you lost it every time you defended it. You're falling behind those people that have at least a defense on their belt, because it's one thing to win it, it's another thing to defend it.
The other thing I wanted to say was on Dylan's behalf was that he did something really special this run too, which was when he won his belt, it was off of cashing in from Last One Standing, which is something that Jeremy and Jake have also done, but something that that the other two haven't done that Dylan has is after using that cash in, after being a champion, being able to fight back and get to that title match on your own without that cash in. Is something that no one's actually done yet. So that's something impressive for Dylan, is that he fought tooth and nail through this year, and that first match was definitely not something he was proud of, but to kind of bounce back from the beginning of the year, turn it around, beat a lot of people who were having good seasons, and then come up, even in a loss, played really great. I think that's one of the better losing performances in a title match is Dylan against Cam. A 63% is something on any other day would probably win you a belt. Cam just happened to shoot an ungodly 78%. So Dylan deserves a lot of flowers for that performance too. The man is fantastic.
I don't want to bury the lead too much. There was another match that also happened on this championship week. Team 2319 did get into the win column.
Yeah, baby. Oh, I forgot to say, 2319 also crossed a threshold. They also made their way into the 200 points club. They did it.
Jesus. How many matches it took to get 200
club after that win. So there you go.
We did fail everybody. It was 22-19. We were so close to our own 23-19.
You erased Scrooge. You erased Scrooge, and I'm so mad.
We may have We may have just quit. Before we get to the title match, trios is now down to a certain number of teams, I think we can say. Because in this sequence, we've lost a few. But I think the remainder after it is the final ones in the losers bracket going into Act 5 that we have is Brethren Court versus We Can't Go On, We Will Go On. Brethren Court fell to self-deprecating. We're still alive, baby.
Maybe my favorite match this whole act. Like, genuinely, like that, like calling that was so exciting.
Yeah, we went to sudden death. It was crazy. We'll talk about that in more depth. And then drugs, so many drugs. Won, and they're in the finals of the against self-deprecating.
Yep.
And then you just saw this past weekend with the championship thing, Grumpy Old Men defeated Protect Your Neck. So they're also in that. They'll be in the losers bracket in the picture of Act 5.
Whatever. I don't know what you technically call the like losers bracket semifinals or whatever. But
whatever you want to call it. Those old men that the Brethren Court pissed off a long time ago, are still alive and nothing has killed them yet. So fun. I'm hoping I get eliminated soon, so I don't have to face those guys. I also got absolutely destroyed by Javi Madden. In trivia. You wouldn't think that I could know any movie trivia whatsoever. That was the worst game of my life. And Javi, I talked a lot of shit to Javi. I scored 38% accuracy while he did 85. Mopped the floor with me.
Truly a ridiculous single game accuracy performance out of Javi. That's a nuts performance. So
when I knew it was 7-3, I just decided I wanted to almost tap out then, but I continued
on. All three of us were there for that match. That match had one of my favorite points where when you read a question, you know the reaction. When I was reading that Easy A question, I saw where it was going, and I was like, well, fuck, someone's going to say something. And there you go.
Hey, I just wanted this out on a record. I've ran this league this is my 6th year, about to be 7. If you think anything's ever rigged in my favor, I scored 38% accuracy. Let me tell you, I know nothing beforehand. Thank you, Nick Carley, for editing that match, because I'll be honest with you, I was going to delete it, and it was never going to see the light of day. So he edited it, and it came on the channel. Proud of you. I didn't get knocked out. Like, that's another thing that happened in fandom. If you want to go watch me and Mark get destroyed by Ambaru, this is a bad season for me. I guess I'm not getting Multiplex Player of the Year this year. That sucks. But title match.
Insane.
I've been around 6 seasons. Seen a lot of good teams and a lot of good teams matches. This match has everything that you could ask for in a match. And it kind of like every time, these guys know very well, I get the itch about mid-season every season. I'm like, I think season 6 is going to be my final season. Like, I think I'm done. 5, think I'm done. 4. These are the moments that reignite the flame. They reignite the flame. They make me want to. I was managing this match, so I had different emotions on it. And again, yeah, save all your jokes. I just jump in for the title match and get another belt into my thing. Well, fuck off. Beat me if you want to do that. But either way, this match has everything. This match has absolutely everything. If you would have told me that Raiko and Eric Moreno are going to form together and have this weird telepathic, like, trust in each other, not really overthinking. Eric's there to pull back Raiko. Raiko's got the facts sometimes is just in. It's like a reassurance. It's almost like Jake and Michael back in the day, where Jake was just high energy all the time, and Michael was just like, hey, why don't you just slow and just listen to what's happening? This match it's one of the best matches I've ever seen.
On that point, I will always say that dynamic is what makes the great team. You need the one player who is like super energetic, super passionate, has a ton of knowledge, and you need that other player who also has a ton of knowledge, but is also much more laid back, is willing to keep that player down to earth. You look at every single great team throughout the years, every single one is made up of that dynamic to some varying degrees, like every single one.
I
think it's like when, like, for example, when you put great players together, they don't always mesh. Like Boatman and Doc were very similar people, so I don't think they were ever able to. It's hard when you put two great players together because it's hard to tell your partner that they're wrong on something.
Yeah.
Because you're trusting that, oh, well, if it didn't come, they've got to know it because look who they are. You need that counterbalance to be like, pause. And to their detriment in this match, being in this circumstances, never being there before, high leverage, not knowing, like, maybe not checking their repeat situations, not knowing what the game was, they shot. And if they would have taken a deep breath, maybe they would have got there. Eric just didn't get enough time to say, Ryko, stop. Or like, wait, you want to, he even says, you want to use a final answer, game's over. So it's like that ball gets launched when he was wide open in the post, maybe, and you just missed it. And it happens, and they should not feel bad about the situation. Like, he was pretty confident. The way he was talking, Eric felt very like, oh, he's played really well this entire game. He got his strength, owned it, and like completely dominated.
Not easy to do, like genuinely, like strength categories. They can go 50-50 sometimes because they're going to be hard.
That's the first time that category had been asked either, because so you don't know what they could come up, what the writers could come up with in that category. For him to just be, it was almost like a silent on the other end because they were in their Skype calls, and then just boom, 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 and I was on the other end being like, well, guys, you're going to need a big round. Like, and then they get 70s, which is not either one of theirs like 100% like sweeps, but they needed a sweep at that point. And then they were still able to fight their way to get enough points. Deep cuts.
Both swept.
Both swept. Which a team being in their first ever title match, deep cut round, over prepping, cramming, don't know how many questions to write down, all the stuff. Sweeps it, nuts. Then they get into the other one. That Mark hit where he hits the Bad News Bears and Ryko, a 70s question where Ryko, he thinks got it. Ryko answers, and then his fist pump at the end. Mark in round 5 carried, like, got him the 3-pointer to put it at the end. It's just, this match has so much back and forth, and that's why I wanted more teams play this year, where you're just relying on each other. Like, Jake should have been the one carrying that team, but Mark had to take the ball at one point because, like, Jake didn't have it. So
that's the really special thing of Back to Formula is you have two players really from across the history of the game together. So you have Jake, who is like high tier veteran status, going for that, you know,
one-time Hall of Famer, future two-time Hall of Famer,
future two-time Hall of Famer Jake Marangoni, guaranteed.
That's a prediction. I just want to say I don't know.
No, it'll happen one day for sure. But Jake's incredible, and then to have Mark, who puts in so much into this game, so much, and to have the game finally kind of reward him back is it's such a sweet moment to see them win. Just to see Jake join that, you know, record book of history, a 2-time Melee team champion with 2 different teams, is something special that only 2 other players have done before him, and now he gets to join them. He gets to join Jeremy and Boat in that category. But then you also have to say that, like, Mark finally getting a championship is so long time coming. It's insane.
To be fair, too, Mark got some really unneeded pressure when he first showed up, right? And there was nothing wrong with the circumstances. He knocked off a very big fish right away in a brutal fashion, and then was thrusted upon this, like, trajectory, and, like, he had to, like, and if you watch Mark Menchaca matches, he is one of my best friends in this community. He's a quiet assassin. He doesn't say a whole lot. He doesn't even he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But, like, all of his matches, like, some players have the greatest day against Mark. Mark will show up and, like, I remember the classic, like, Igor played a match right before in the tournament, right before Mark. Igor played a not his best game. It was a struggle game. He hosted that match. He's like, huh. All right, so maybe Igor has some. Igor comes back the very next game and has like the game of his life against Mark, and Mark goes like 28-26. He scored 26 points in Melee, lost. So like it's crazy how much this guy just can't get a footing. So to see the genuine excitement on Jake coming back and then Mark's actual visceral react, it's the moment of the year for me right now. And I'm biased because I was there. But like that moment when there are people that were like, you don't know how much kind of this game is kind of like an outlet for a lot of these people that come and play here. Like, and for him to have it and finally climb that mountaintop, for Cam to finally climb that mountaintop and get there. Like that's the whole thing of this season. Melee is in a totally different game right now. Mm-hmm. It is anybody's game right now. You can win here.
There's been so much catharsis, like character arcs that are like reaching full like satisfaction for a lot of people. Like with Cam, this is like this is 6 years coming. For Mark, this is 5 years coming. Like for Jake Marangoni, this is like the comeback cherry on top of an already Hall of Fame career. And then like even just for Blame Canada, because we've talked a lot about Back to Formula. Blame Canada is the story of the year for me in teams in terms of just absolute rookie sensations. Because in full reality, they did beat me and Scully. Like they did. They won. Blame Canada were the better team that game. It came down to just that one switch. So I think Ryko and Eric were just the better teams, the better guys that day. And they came back from that moment and really just they buckled down and beat so many great teams through and through. They beating Sam and Tom, who's another rookie team that I think is really good. I think they have a lot of really good potential on Sam and Tom. And that Ryko-Tom rivalry continuing through the years has been like one of my favorite rookie storylines. And to get through to like beat the Camerons and beat Bullets, it's like they're taking down legends to get here. And I love Blame Canada. I think they're such a good team.
The Bullets one needs to be talked about more. They didn't just beat Bullets. They came back from a 5-point deficit going into round 3 against Bullets. Like, and sure, you can say that might say something about Bullets, which I think there's a conversation there that says something about Blame Canada, and they were able to get the momentum to keep building. They never stopped for a second to get that win.
What makes them special is just like Cody said, Eric just kind of understands Ryko as a person so well in terms of calling him down. Ryko's got so much knowledge in his head. He's like a film historian. It just comes down to just focusing it and channeling it. And Eric does such a good job of doing that. So
yeah, that's like the best line that I could get is like, it feels like the early years. Yeah. Because I wanted to take the stress off of this game. Like there are so many movies out there and we were getting like our accuracy, if we looked across, is literally has to be up like 30 points at this point. Like overall players are just like, I don't care if like, even if you consider some of these players not great, like all-time players, but if they have a round one with they're getting 6 or 7 points, hats off. I don't want perfect rounds every game. I don't want to be like the schmodown in that aspect. But what I want like an aspect of like have fun playing. Like sure, it could be like, oh, of course they knew that. Like, but like there are certain rounds. Javi got 7. I got 3. That round wasn't written where it's harder for me. I just didn't know the answers at that point. It could have been 7-7 leaving that round. So that's what I want. Like, I don't care if somebody, like, I'd rather a match end 29-30 than if you go back, it's one of my least favorite matches that we've ever aired. And it's nothing against the players that played. It's nothing against, it's internally what we did. The Ryan Payne, Andrew Barr title match is the worst title match that we could have put out there for anybody. And I'm not saying that we just dropped the ball. Our strength or our levels were just a little too, just for the general public. And it's not that they could have both had bad games also. There's questions in there in that round that I could find that were fair. But all in all, we could have done a better job to be like, sure, that's a fair question, but could we dial it down a step? And I don't think that's a fault. I don't think that's a bad thing to look at and reflect on.
I think the biggest case in point, and not to keep harping on Javi because I love Javi to death. He's a great guy. His debut, 40% last season, 40% in his debut. First match back, 85%. That's a huge change in accuracy overnight, and the question difficulty is the reason. We lightened it up a bit. And if you go back, that's a debut match he played last year, and it's 40%.
What I told you,
Javi couldn't have also just gotten better, but just it's a talking point at least.
What I told my writers this in the offseason, that when it comes to writing in fandom, every player knows what's coming on the test. There are 500 movies, and they know that they could get a question from any of the 500 that they have in fandom. And even in a round 2, at times, they will ask you who plays Iron Man. So why, when we have endless amount of movies, can we not ask easier questions at times? They don't all have to be softballs, but we can go easier. And I think that's just changed our game.
Javi, you're full of shit. I'm just telling you, you're full of shit. Your accuracy might not be 85, but genuinely 40 is not for you.
I think my writers after me. Let's be real with you. I think you got one.
Bet you over, yeah. Sorry.
You brought it up. You brought it up, Cody. I was going to talk about this later. I may as well just talk about this tonight. Fandom in round 3. It's kind of been an unwritten rule. I'm just going to say it right now. The fandom question is going to be harder than the other round 3 questions. Yeah. You know everything that can possibly be there. We are going to go a little deeper. And I'm sorry, every writer agrees. That is fair. If you don't like it, take something else.
Well, and there's also 2 things. I've given my writers 2 categories. One, they will also like. Oscars is the same way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know everything that could come. Sure, there's a lot of nuance that you can ask from an Oscars question. But at the end of the day, if you're going to take an Oscars for 4, I'm not going to give you who won the best picture. That's not comparable because you studied that. Same thing with fandom. It would be laughable if we had some weak questions at the beginning. We took some people were venting, and they had every right to vent, because if they are playing a fandom player, my thing is, if you're playing a fandom player, they still have to make 7 points. They still have to score 7 points or 6 points on other categories that isn't fandom. But at the end of the day, and we've done our due diligence to like take out the other stuff. But we do not write it based on who's in the match. Like if it was me playing and I took fandom for 4, or Joe Farrelly took it for 4, it's going to be the same level. It's just what they decide to write from.
Depending on what match we are writing at. But yeah.
And you know what you're going to be in. So that's all I'm saying. And if you notice, like trios, like there are 3 people playing in that. It's our fun league, I would say. So like it may be less on the difficult side as the rest. But again, that's not for a real championship at the end. Like you'll be remembered for winning it. But at the end of the day, it's not held in such high esteem. You guys want to talk about what might be coming this end of the season?
I would love to. Hey, so you want to talk about it, or do you want something else you want to say?
No, I'm down to move into Act 5. Do we have a name? Do we have an official name, Cody and Co?
Well, yeah. So we talked about this at the start of it. You all love your little names. I'm pretty much straight to the point. It's Turmoil at the Multiplex. It's Turmoil. Turmoil is back.
Yeah.
Teams match at Turmoil will decide the end. If you've never seen Turmoil, go back. We've done it twice before, I believe. We put it on hiatus because I put all the best team kind of thing. I put teams with question writers in there, and I need both of them. But we now have a system worked behind the scenes that events will be able to happen without issues right now. Thank you, Payson Johnson. He's volunteered to sit out of things if need be to make events happen. So that's massive. He's enjoying half of his retirement. So Tag Team Turmoil 3. That will decide who will be playing back to Formula at the championship. I know news travels fast, blah, blah, blah. We have filmed it. It's a fantastic match. So excited for everybody to watch it. It's the best one by far, I believe. I don't think there's even a question. It has surprises. It has upsets. It's crazy. It's just an overall best match. You will see that on our channel November 28th, 2024. That will decide. So that is basically 2 weeks, I believe, or a week before May.
Week before the final act. Yep.
Before final act. So eat some leftover turkey, whatever you have. Enjoy it.
Wish me a happy 25th. That's the greatest birthday present of all. Is watching Turbo.
Is this gonna be the 28th? Is your birthday?
Yep, it's my birthday.
God, you're a senior citizen now. Cool.
Half a cent or a quarter century old.
So Holtzman has got a belt.
He does have a belt, and he has defended it.
And I need him to have an opponent. Now,
we're running out of time, Cody. What do
we
you
are.
There's not a lot of time left in the air.
We are running out of time. I love the showmanship. We're running out of time. I don't have time to do like a picture, a tournament. This is October. I have writers that want to enjoy their holidays, right? We're going to get them all. We have our break.
What we are in a conundrum.
I'm going to take you.
Jason and I have Sonic the Hedgehog 3 circled on a calendar. We can't be riding anymore.
I have a date with Shadow the Hedgehog. What am I going to do, Cody?
So, Turmoil is the 28th. I say, let's do something on the 29th.
Interesting. What do you propose?
I picked up the phone. I dialed some numbers. I'm going to mention some last names.
What do the numbers mean, Mason?
I'm going to throw you out of this call.
I'll stop.
Vanthine?
Dylan, okay.
Nishimoto?
Dave? Oh, I like that guy.
Will Cohen?
I'm not the biggest fan of that guy.
He likes chipmunks.
Jeremy Adams?
Ooh, he's fun.
It's been a minute since we've seen Jeremy.
Cameron Redshaw?
Ooh, it's been even longer since we've seen Doc.
Man, beautiful man.
Joseph Olivas?
Beautiful man.
Cody, I'm noticing a pattern with these people.
Jake Meltzer?
Oh, he's back.
Jake Marangoni?
Oh!
Just like Fandom, the former Melee Championship Gauntlet will take place on the 29th of November. The winner of that will go on to play Cameron at the final act. The only reason there are 2 champions missing. Oh, that's disgusting. Yes.
Dan Spence, I'm sorry.
To let everybody know, we haven't even filmed it. We don't know what's happening yet. So this is exciting to talk about in its length. I talked to Nick Twohig. Me and Nick Twohig talked about the final act and what to do because we were running kind of out of time and like, what is it? And he's like, why don't you do the gauntlet? Why don't you do a former champion gauntlet? I was like, would you have any issue? You guys just did one? Nope, no problem at all. So I got on the phone, dialed them up. So all the people, there are 2 admissions.
Two names.
Which makes sense. So
the only reason why 2 of them were not invited, the tabloid rumors of me hating one of these people, not the case. The reason behind it was Marangoni messaged me this year and said, I'm coming back to singles next year. I said, perfect. Meltzer messaged me, I want to come back also. Both things added up. Olivas messaged me. He's played in trios with me. He wants to come back. So at that point, Barr and Boatman did not message me on actively returning to singles. So I did not include them in there. I didn't even reach out to them because I don't want to oh, here's a shot at the title. Come on back. If they had plans, because Marangoni, Meltzer, Olivas didn't message me, and Redshaw came back this year, didn't tell me anything. So they will play how the gauntlet works, similar to how Fandom worked. It's the exact way. 5 questions sitting on the desk. 1 drops. And we'll get 1 drop. The final person squares off. The 2 people square off. They will play Holtzman at the final act.
I can already say it's going to be the greatest thing we've ever done. But I do
Could
also,
be all-
I do also want to say to the audience, as someone who can speak for both Barr and Boatman with much confidence, they are both very happy at the old folks home right now. They are very happy in retirement. They are enjoying
fighting over their Jello and what movie to play next. It's real great.
However, I'm sure if either of them were like, "Hey, I got the itch," all they gotta do is message.
Yeah, they can always be added back to the roster again. We eliminated that retirement rule. So again, if there's a player that you saw actively played this year, you can message them if you want to team up with them. If you want to ask if they're coming back, just message them.
Look.
Everything's fair games.
Look, Ginyu Force is coming back next year. Like, anything can happen.
You're such a liar. You're such a liar.
I don't want
But I mean, David doesn't have a teammate as far as I know. So if you're looking for a teammate, well, it's David. Can't ask me.
What if we do one of those for the people who can't? We do. It's called a golden ticket. Basically, we do it every year. But no, I get you. And it's called the last one standing. That's also another thing that you can do. I would love like a midi. We may talk about that next year, like doing a mid, like the middle ground. But
that sounds
everyone
really
who played for the title and lost goes in a pool.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. So basically at Mayhem, not Mayhem, we already did that. At the final act, there will be three things. There will be
Pace is retired.
called a jail sentence, basically. Actually, the winner of Last One Standing has a real good shot of being a pretty good player. Back to Formula versus the winner of Turmoil.
Yes.
The trios final will be at final act. And Holtzman versus the Gauntlet winner will be at, so we will have three things at our final thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of the season is recorded and done. I'm really excited. I'm trying to get these writers done, taking a break, because we have a lot of stuff coming in the next season that we've discussed and talked about that are going to be nuts. Any questions about overall? And we can like reveal some of the matchups that will be taking place in Act 5. Jason, you got something?
Yeah, real quick, but before get your questions and we'll start answering. I just want to say something. If you are a player and if you are managed by someone, let me know who you're managed by so that way I can add them to the chat when I start matches. I've noticed recently a lot of players are not coming in with the manager that I add to the chat, and I would prefer if that player is not in that green room. So please, if you are in a faction that has a new manager, let me know. I know factions aren't technically a thing. If you're a player that just has a brand new manager, let me know. I need to get organized. I like to be organized. Please just keep me in the loop.
Also, sorry, you got. Sorry.
No. A lot of people have told me about teams that are coming up. Love it. I'm excited to talk about that. We'll discuss that at the end of this season. But we got some great new teams that will come. But if you are in a new team, but you've never played before, make sure you comment on that post on the Facebook page. If you are an existing player that has a new teammate, I don't want you to tell people. I want to keep it as mystery. I want to have fun with them. I want to surprise people with the reveal of the new teams.
My favorite thing that we can do is if you message us who your new teammate is, and we can put a question mark in a thumbnail and a title. My favorite shit. Do it.
But yes.
Shout out to one of the greatest teams matches of all time, Bombardment Society versus That One Time.
Don't know if it has to be said, but when will the rankings? Listen, I
don't do that.
You don't?
I do the rankings, but I don't put them on the site.
But do you send them?
Yeah, I send them. He puts them on the site.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I'm saying if I had site access, I could put them up whenever, but I don't have that, and I'm not getting that. So.
Okay. Well, maybe message Nick and see what he needs, because we need those updated on our end. Because
fucking man.
Hey, go to YouTube where you're watching this on. Hit rewind, like click the thing, and it will start again and tell you everything. But we did a lot. This is why he's not in the gauntlet, because he doesn't know who he is anymore.
Man,
He's
seen that.
with his walker in Walmart. So,
but no, if you have any questions for Melee for the rest of the year, next year, multiplex questions, 500 subscriber questions, anything, go ahead, shoot. We're just vibing. So
yeah, it's all right. You're good.
Saw something early, and I just want to spot like this. Eric is a contender for comeback player of the year. What are you talking about, Brian? Eric is a
rookie. What are you talking about? He's a rookie.
What are we talking about, Eric? Brian, stop.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He never played before. What are you talking about? I love Rookie Reset. I hope we do it again. Anyway.
We have discussed terms of what so Record Reset is happening. But I have a way of doing it. I haven't picked the date for it. It will happen in December, like in the before the off season, during the off season. I want to get that ball rolling, but there's a rumor that I'm working out that the winner of Record Reset will have the option to either reset their singles or their team's record. So I would take like a team, for example, not saying it's happening, but I would take a team like Rewind Fuckers. I would ask one of them to compete in that event. Neither one of them would reset their singles record because they are positive. So they would have to reset but that's a team that would love to reset. So that's an example of what it would work. Like, for example, Brzakala would have the opportunity to reset his singles record, or he could reset 23-19. God, Tim, just reset your singles record. You do not need to reset ours. Yeah, there's a lot.
That would be a fun match.
Being on call with Jack is something he doesn't want to do more than necessary.
Hey, Kaiser, I quit drinking a long time ago. That match may put me back on it. So let's not do that. Fun matches that will be coming up in this act, I can say. Caleb Coho will be back in singles, taking on Brzakala.
Rematch
for the slice.
Yeah, this is legitimately going to be the match who will determine who will own the slice forever, in perpetuity. It will never be used again. The permanent bragging rights of the slice are on the line in the rematch.
These teams matches have implications for next season. We have the Penitent Men will pass versus Lights, Camera, and Action.
That was a fun match.
We have Tequila Mockingbird taking on Kumite.
That's a good one. Welcome back.
No, that's what happens when you play really well so many times. Kumite.
Mockingbird. That they were the rookie team of the year pre-Mayhem, and in a post-Mayhem world with Blame Canada coming out of nowhere, I think it's at least a conversation that they might still be on the board. But Blame Canada being there, it's like. So.
Read that, Coho.
Why when Coho goes hyper, I feel like
there it is.
Damn it.
And I think my most anticipated match from this final act, it will actually be happening right before we get to Turmoil and Gauntlet. Bring Out Your Dead versus Milwaukee Beers, a rematch of when Bring Out Your Dead brutally knocked out.
It was.
So, and I don't think they're going to be as lucky this time. Like, I don't think you get that twice. So, anything's possible. Will, hopefully you don't say anything in that match that will get edited, because I will edit it in.
You know what's going to happen, Will. You know what will happen. You've done it. You've done it once in Melee. That's what I'm going to say.
Look out for the FANDOM release. Yeah, so any other questions? Question for the people that are in the chat right now.
Dylan.
Yes. I'm assuming that trios was positive for most people, and I'm looking to bring back trios. Do you believe that we should run trios back again next year with new teams? Give me a yes or no in chat if you think it's a good idea. Why we're doing that.
Ooh, hobby.
Or you want to write again? What?
Oh, that's more important than that. Yeah, need another writer for next season?
Or you want to come back? Here's the thing though. You've been with us and then you leave us again. And then you come back and you leave us again. Are you gonna leave me again, Bar?
Okay, so yeah, we have a plan. We're trying to discuss how we do because like right now the 16 seed is still in it, and that's just impressive. I think everybody is shocked. But wait, Bar, you need to message me as soon as possible, because if that's an option, I would like to, as somebody that got brutalized all the time in the past for easy questions, like I would take some questions. Like you can definitely write in this era of Melee.
Bar would be the most elite utility player in modern Melee writing group.
God. But
Guys, hot record, you asshole. Thank you, Dylan.
New teams makes it mad fun to do something different. That's true, Rue. I like that comment.
Yeah. I would like it to do it. So what we failed to do last year, which I will just let everybody know, this year we bunched a lot of matches near the end. We're probably going to do top load a little bit at the start of next season, so we don't have that like at the end a mad dash like to do, because once you get into the losers bracket, especially, we'll probably jump with the losers bracket really fast, because once you get into the losers bracket, it's basically match on top of matches, right. And I don't want to do that to players like we did, but it was our first time running it, so it's kind of like up in the air.
Thankfully, if you've been paying attention to how Melee is going, you can probably guess what the first teams and singles title matches are going to be next year.
If you're eagle-eyed, maybe, who knows?
How do I run this and I don't know what you're talking about?
Well, there's a certain team that has an automatic rematch that they're still waiting to use, and we have a annual event that we've been doing at the start of every year now to decide the first singles picture.
Oh, yeah. I can say that. That's
yeah.
Judgment City will be top featured. They will be back, and they will get
they'll be back, and they might be back sooner than you think. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just teasing.
What? Don't do that.
Judgment City is still hovering out there. I like keeping them.
They will. If you win the belt at the end of the season, I'm letting you know right now. Your first opponent will be Judgment City. Yes. Listen, I've already had to deal with some messages that I feel like they lost so early that I kept them out the rest of the season. So I want to clear my name right away and say Judgment City is featured in the first act of next year. Get ready for that.
It'll be exciting. It'll be kind of exciting to see Judgment.
Once you win the title at the end, you might want to start studying.
I will say it will be kind of fun to see Judgment City.
Oh, there is one rule I'm adding to trios next year. If I do it, there will be no combination. Like, you can have two of the same players on your trios team, but if you for example, if Joseph and Tisdale get spun and then I show up again, I go back on the thing and we do it again. We can't run the same team back. I want fresh. So grumpy old men cannot be back together again. So that's a blessing for most.
It's golden, right?
Golden.
It is well, no.
Well, golden as far as we know.
It turns platinum as soon as the belt is dropped. So
yeah,
if you do by the way, Payson did it. He works with us. It is what it is. But if you're an active competitor playing in this league,
I was extending my privileges a little thin there. I will.
If you're an active player in this league and we build our schedule almost a year in advance, and you drop the belt without telling me beforehand, I may never let you play any form of this game ever again. It throws a wrench into everything we have. Because once we film your stuff, we start on the next thing. And if we start on the next thing and we have to, now it's a different title, it messes everything up.
How do we plan to balance the various divisions next year? Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the roster should more size. Well, Kaiser, we do our best, and there's things coming.
Yeah, there's things coming. We do definitely have an inflated roster as of right now, and
Too nice.
that yes, that will be fixed next season. So unfortunately, some players don't throw enough interest in playing that we kindly silently retire some players until they tell us different. Because if you're not actively like seeking, we're not. But like we have 60 deep, and there are some players that only got like one, maybe two matches this year, and that's not kind of what I want. But I will say for us as a league, I think at the end of the day this season, what is it? 160 matches plus?
Yeah, about 160-ish.
160. There will be 162 matches from Melee, and that, I mean, if you take trios completely out of there, that was, that's 30 matches or so at the end of that. So like,
I can say that there are 5 names on the singles roster that didn't play this year. Everyone else got to play at least one game.
Guys,
yeah,
go ahead.
I would like those numbers to be 1 or 2 or 3 matches, give or take, just to have some fun. Again, we've talked about it behind the scenes. We talked about like the Coho 23-19 shouldn't have played as much as we played this year. We had fun playing it, but we shouldn't have been. There should have been other people. But our teams is a little different than our singles. So we were kind of making up for it too last year. Riding team is absolutely, it's the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
But I will say, and it just got bigger. But I will say, we really screwed our teams division the previous year, so it was kind of a makeup this year for it. And like we're trying to get back to a balance, but I like to keep it almost basically even. Trios is never to take away from singles or teams. It's just added. It's an extra thing that we take on. It's an extra match I edit. So that's one of the questions. Legit question because it's hard.
I'm just in regards to cuts. I'm seeing someone just bought Multiplex Entertainment. His name is David Zaslav, and
the guy who bought Warner Brothers, and then he cut Batgirl and all those movies. Anyway.
Oh yeah, please cut the sign us up. Cut me.
For Ryko, the difference between a gold and a platinum ticket is a golden ticket is anyone there. You get to play for the title. Platinum is if you're playing for the title and no one's holding it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it was golden going on to it. And would you question trio teams with those with a loss? How many?
Maybe. We could probably make a graphic. Probably.
Yeah, we could probably be better with that next year for sure. I don't know about this year because we're down to
like the final 5?
The final 3 of the losers bracket, the final 2 of the
So we're down to the final 5.
It's drugs versus self-deprecating for the finals, and then Grumpy Old Men is waiting there for the winner of Brethren Court, and we can't go on. We will go on. And then whoever wins between self-deprecating and drugs will play wait for the winner of Grumpy Old Men, and we can't go on. And the winner of those 2 will go and play the winner of drugs and self-deprecating for the finals. But yeah, we could probably do that. Can we cut deep cuts? That's always a question. A lot of people talk about it. We do.
We're having conversations about changing it. I think we should probably keep this on the.
Well, we're talking about we're always kicking around ideas on how to fix the title match rounds and make them the best that they can be. So what happened with risk round, we'll evaluate deep cuts. We'll see.
So when we sat down and had the conversation in this season, the plan was to eliminate round 3 and round 4 of the championship matches. I hated round 4 of the Revenge of the Wheel because it's just an accuracy dump that doesn't really matter, and it wastes 5 questions. That is a general category that can literally go in other matches.
Yeah.
Coho hates deep cuts, hated them for a while. Some players really love deep cuts. My only answer always is I never want to replace something just because I hate it. I want to replace something when we have something better in its place.
Right.
I do want to like announce like what's happening next, so people don't like. I've had some messages that question this. Here's the stakes: how Melee runs. Not to be egotistical, I am the owner operator of Melee. Okay, I'm the top showrunner. Okay, when bad calls have to be made, I have to make the call. I'm the least involved in matches in general. I have the overseer of everything. So if I get thrown in a match, it's not because I've asked to be thrown in a match. If I play a team's match, I don't schedule my team match. Those are the only two things that I don't have any operation over. So when a tough call has to be made and it's unpopular or something like that, I have to either take the praise or take the bullet. Either way, I'm fine with. Then I have 4 people under me that I value their opinion, and if I go to make a decision, I am God. If I go to make a decision, they will attest, the 4 people. If I ever go to make a decision or I'm thinking of a decision, I tell them, my exact phrase that I tell them always is poke holes in it. Tell me it's bad. Tell me what could go wrong. These are my people: Payson Johnson, Dylan Van Thine, Mark Menchaca, Caleb Coho. Those 4 create the inner circle. Then I have people on my writing team: Adelaide Spence, Kaiser Wine, Jack Pinchuk, Ryko. Am I forgetting anybody? I don't want to be mean.
Andrew James Barr.
Kaiser, Jack.
Andrew James Barr.
You're not forgetting anyone. It's just now we have Barr.
This show would not run without any of them. They are all crucial to every part. Not everybody taps in at the same time. Not everybody can help all the time. They bounce them back. My head writers, Payson and Dylan. Okay? So if there's a decision in Melee you hate, it's probably because of me. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I have to bite the bullet and just take the hit, and I'm okay with that. But I've done this for 6 years, and I've had multiple people in my team in writing room since. I've had Holtzman, I've had Barr, I've had Boatman, I've had Brian, I've had so many people.
The Forks tentatively is on hiatus and won't be coming back probably.
That will never happen, but I appreciate that answer.
We should do it.
That would be the end. We're releasing a Christmas album coming up.
We'll have to be called the Spoons because we can't be the Forks.
Yeah, but that's overall the thing. I'm not a writer. I don't really write questions. I've had to a few times. I don't like when I do it because that oversteps where I'm at because I'm not that good at it. So I let my team write, and if I have a problem, they're pretty quick to tell me what it is.
Dude, here's the thing, Dylan. I can totally see actually having. I can see Dylan actually being able to rap. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well that's. We're replacing the deep cuts round with a rap rounds. You have to rap about a movie.
And your new champion, Haven Pendergast. Anyway,
Mason comes back just smoking blunts.
So again, I'm here for any questions, anything going forward. I'm staying on. So
Ben's question from a while ago. Not going to speak to Manhattan Project.
No, I'll say it. He's one of my best friends. I love him to death. He sucks. His schedule's too busy. Tamascully is banned from this league. If he has a problem with me, he can talk to me himself. That man showed up.
I'm a free agent.
3 times, and on an hour before, ghosted us. I felt like a girl that swiped right or left on Tinder. I was left outside in the cold. Gone.
I will say, as a free agent, I am fielding offers for teammates.
Crickets.
There is a leading candidate. Anyway.
No, I love Scully is my Red Sox best friend in this community. He's too busy. He is too busy. His schedule's too chaotic. He can't do it. So
I'm not shaving my mustache for 500 subscribers. It's not happening.
I'm shaving my head for 1 million subscribers. No, I've told Mark this before. If we ever have another match, I am willing to wager my hair if he wagers his stash. That's the only way I would wager my hair.
If we hit 1,000, can we have matching mustache bros thing going on?
I think Cody would kick us out. Important question.
Yes. So this is Pathan's like bread and butter. I could tell him what happens like in March of 2022. What Matt he'll be able to
always make fun of me for this, and I hate this because we've already had this discussion 8 months ago. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I do this a lot.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It's so beneficial. It is so beneficial. Because I can just I can go to Payson and he'll be able to dig the thing that I need to do.
Dylan, don't do that. I have a second account that I'll just go subscribe.
Well, after 6 years, I'll finally subscribe. That's fine.
God,
imagine that I'm one of the people that hasn't subscribed.
so funny.
Sorry, Cody.
No. What was I saying? No. So the rules and stuff. So we have rules. A lot of players know some rules, and a lot of people do. We've taken it off because we're revamping a little bit. We were going to post it. It's done. We were going to post it, but right now all these matches are happening. For them to know the rules beforehand is not. We as hosts and judges and hosts of these things need to be better of like taking a pause, letting certain players know, because not everybody's going to either remember it or look at it before a match. It's just not possible at times. But we are revamping that. We are putting that. The biggest rule that has changed that is kind of being edited out of matches but not being like announced really is we kind of just changed it to more of an offensive challenge kind of for the game than a defensive challenge. So what's ended up happening is if you get a question right in Melee, and what's been in the past is a player your opponent can challenge.
Who plays Vinny Vega in Pulp Fiction?
I don't know.
And I say Travolta. In the past, a player could challenge and be like, "Oh, his name isn't Vinny Vega. His name is Vincent Vega." You could challenge to throw that out. That's how it was in the past.
Yes. I've hated that for a really long time because we have to take some ownership as hosts and writers that sometimes we mess up and we put something out there that shouldn't be. Why are we penalizing the player that's playing the game? All they did was sit down and get asked a question. If you screwed up and they got to the question, they should be able to keep their points. So with that being said, so that's one of the big changes that has kind of come over this last few acts. It kind of one of the many reasons, but like Joseph played Holtzman in the Pick'em tournament at the beginning of the year. He got to the Klaus question. No.
Yeah. Hobby? Yeah.
But
there was a year
got an animation question from Klaus. It said 2020 or whatever. It was released in 2019. He knew the answer. He answered it. Holtzman challenged it, got a new question, missed it, and didn't. I don't think he knew it or had to go to multiple for the next one. That's going to be fair to Joseph because we put 2019. We made the question harder, and he was still able to get to the answer. The only time that is different, the only time you can challenge somebody out of the points is in strength categories. If something's put in those strength or something different, you can challenge based on not being in a strength, even if they get it right. Your strength or their strength has to be in that fine-tooth thing. But for me and Javi's match, perfect example, they put Apollo 13 in sci-fi fantasy. Is that correct? I answered the director. Javi challenged, which was fair in the old system. I shouldn't be penalized because you asked me a sci-fi question and asked me the director of that movie. Now, as writers, we are doing a better job to make sure those little things don't ever happen. So we're not saying that it's right, but this just puts it kind of on us. Once the flag is thrown, sometimes it's out. You can pick it back up, but you're going to have to face the consequences for it. So in this time, we're just going to say, instead of being on the defensive side, we're more on the offensive side of the player. Player gets a point. Similar into like a round one situation, questions wrong, questions misleading, a player gets a point. The other player that missed it, if got misled, could challenge. You would keep your point, They would just get a replacement question in that situation. It's more finite. We'll have it all typed out, but that's one of the main differences.
The number one thing I will say, this does not apply to strengths. Strength.
I already said that. You were looking down.
Sorry. I was answering.
What was that? How about the BS when they ask something in round 1 and they get it right and then spins down?
Yeah, no, you can't. No, and if it was asked 6 months ago, no, Nazaria. That's yeah. Watch the matches.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
Huh?
I have a question for you guys while we wait.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys while we wait for more. So, what is your favorite multiplex memory from the last 500 subscribers now that we've hit it? Could be Melee, could be Fandom. What is your personal favorite moment that you've had or that you've seen from the last 500 subs?
Is it one I'm in? Can it be one I'm in or?
Yeah. If you want to,
I don't care when you're in or if you pick one you watched or anything. What's your favorite moment, really?
The two I go to always is Maggie versus Rizzy.
Beautiful.
The water truck incident, because it was another shock for all of us there. And the other one that I will, it's definitely egotistical on this one, but it's Mark beating Redshaw in that way, because it was like,
those were the 2 Rookie of the Year contenders at that point. That was
but it was like I messaged Mark and I said, "Hey, if you beat, I don't know who you played first.
I can look.
But I said, if you beat the person, whoever you're first, then I will.
Damian Walker.
You beat Damian Walker. I said, if you beat Damian Walker, you can join the group. He's like, all right. And then he messaged about Redshaw. I was like, hey, I'm not expecting to beat Redshaw. Just go out and play a game. Have fun. You're in the faction anyways. And then when he beat it in that fantastic planet, Charlotte's Web or whatever, it was just like the emphatic. I'm just like, what the hell? That and him beating Brian.
Yeah.
The next round of Sudden Death.
Sudden Death was just that run was something insane. Like
that year has so many great runs.
Do you guys want
to in all those tournaments? Like Bar's run to the title, Michael Campbell's run in the same tournament is like insane. And Mark and great paths all the way through that tournament.
Genuinely,
and then the Fandom upset end, like you just said, with Maggie. And everyone's great.
One more time, cut them off. I love it.
The 2 moments that made me want to become a Melee player. The first one, you were inflating your ego a little. I hate to bring you down a little. The ending of Cameron Holtzman versus Jake Marangoni is one of the, like, from a story perspective, like, Jake is coming in as the absolute bad guy. He's talking so much shit through this tournament. Cam is like this scrappy underdog, has had some wins, but hasn't had like the real great moment. Jake and Cody are shitting on the host the entire time. They're getting under their skin. Like it is the ultimate good versus evil. And the second Cam flips that board and just like you could hear the audience just like erupt in flames from that moment. And then the other one is just like Bar beating Vogt for that first time. Like I had been watching since 2019. I didn't think Bar had a chance in hell to beat him. And like when you shout and you're a winner, and still like with the exception of what happened this weekend, still probably the greatest reaction to winning a title is Bar jumping out of his bed, 29-year-old man, just the
launching his headphones.
It was incredible. Like
I will still say, I wish it was a moment that was caught on the screen. No, I think it was, maybe not. But that Soul Surfer question will always be one of my all-time moments ever. We don't know the match is happening. The writers forget about it. They have to go into a separate call and cram right in like 30 minutes to get this done. And then how does she lose her arm in Soul Surfer? And like, that's fine. It's not a really well-known film. To not think about like how else will this woman lose her arm in a surfing movie was priceless.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
I gotta say, either like full respect to Kumite, but when Ginyu became a first-time champ and then a 3-time champ, beating Wild Stallions that first time and then beating Judgment City for that time, like specifically Judgment City, like hearing for a year like with all the complaints of like they're unbeatable, they shouldn't be a team. It's not possible to beat them. It's possible to beat them. Go do it. Stop complaining. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
That's a tough
one. Mine dates back to the first season of Multiplex, and it's a moment that will always live super special to me, regardless of all the unfortunate circumstances behind most of the people in the match now. But in the first season of Fandom Fights, we ended the season with a triple threat teams match between Paul and Lucas, Case and Chris, and Robert and Tim. And that match is an infamous one now. But nothing will live as one of my favorite. For one shining pure moment in that match, it's just really fun to have the and your winner, and it's not the Arkham Knights, and to still just hear Jim's, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. I just love that call. I love that moment, regardless of all the shit that goes with it now.
you picked the one match that has a lot of baggage behind it, but that's
a lot of baggage. But it's to this day that moment still is like.
Right, but like now it's not like the most. It's literally got caution tape around it. I was also laughed at when I didn't want to do a fatal 4-way at the end of the year, and this motherfucker pulls out a FANDOM triple threat match championship in the first season. Kiss my ass.
To be fair, that was not my idea.
Guys,
that was not my idea.
Do you guys know that the Punisher has an implied cameo at the end of Spider-Man?
Implied cameo. Oh man, season 1 of Fandom Questions will give you whiplash.
Bullshit question.
I'll give you whiplash.
It's an impossible question. 40s? I don't know. Fucking.
It's an impossible fucking question. Oh, I know I said it in the post, but I feel like I didn't necessarily give him enough love. Kane McMillan is such an important person to this channel. I love him to death. I'm glad to know that he is safe in the Hurricanes, even though that is your nickname's Hurricane. But you survived, and that makes me happy. But also, congrats. He's getting married. Congrats to Kane. I'm so excited.
Kane still does thumbnails for this channel as we speak, and has changed my color in Melee multiple times, and I appreciate it.
Kane still being involved in like in any way with us still makes me so happy, because it's like Kane will be my hero for Multiplex forever, just because of all the
people. Thoughts on the blue and orange as our color?
Great question. Blue and orange. Should we keep blue and orange? Should we go back to red and blue? What should we do?
Blue and yellow is always going to be my favorite.
Can't read yellow.
I know.
I always like the blue and red. I don't know. I just liked that color.
I like a lighter version of both, but yeah.
If we're gonna go back to it, we got to change the.
I think the light blue would have to be. I think the red can stay, but
yeah, you'd have to go with like a cyan and a red.
I didn't know it was because he wanted lasagna. That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's incredible. I miss Ethan Beller. Can we talk about for just a quick second some of the people that like don't play anymore that were like so fun or so good? Ethan Beller's like top 5. I love that guy. Beller was great. Kane, and like obviously like we saw Brian earlier this year play, but I wish Brian was back full time. I love Brian Michaels so much.
Crucial to this channel as well.
Yeah.
Every big event you see, he edits. He is absolutely crucial. He will be editing Turmoil. He will be editing the Gauntlet. He is absolutely crucial to this channel. And when I message him and say, I'm sorry, he says, don't be. I like doing it, which is crazy.
Brian's an editing master, by the way. Like, I've edited a lot of promos for this channel. Brian's promo for Mayhem 7 is by far the best promo this channel's had. It's incredible stuff. Brian is an amazing editor. So I love it.
Shout out to only have 6 more matches to edit. Shout out me.
Other people. Do you guys have other people that you miss? Because like I miss seeing Maggie play like consistently. Like Maggie's another person that I loved when she came back the second time. Maggie's gonna be one of my favorite players. Period. I don't know if there's others that you guys miss, but
I mean I have what I miss, but for comedic reasons. Should I?
Be nice. No, be nice.
I'll keep it to myself.
Be nice.
I think there are several competitors that don't play anymore that were good that it would be that I don't know how well they do in modern Melee, but it'd be nice to see.
It's super to see an Eli back. Like it's been really fun. Like
Eli coming back and being good is really fun. I love seeing Eli play.
That's the answer. That's the answer. Yes.
Doug Castle. That is a guy I miss daily. I love that guy.
Star?
He is.
I know that, but good on him.
His TikTok is actually quite popular. But I love Doug. Doug's great. RJ, he was so fun. I loved RJ. Damian Walker, Damian Walker was a fun guy to see play. Like
I think he messaged a while ago or whatever and said he still watches, just too busy to compete. So that's nice.
And that makes me happy that like people still watch even when they're not like necessarily playing.
Both Lucas and Zach, like
Lucas and Zach, Lucas and Zach both.
Yo, Zach is married with 2 kids. Lucas is getting engaged. Man, all you guys are growing up.
Alone.
Everything Costello. Man.
It's true. I had one more for those.
That is a lot of
they commented on the post today. I made it very clear that I love both these guys and that they were important to us. But Brooklyn and Nico both did contribute to this channel in a lot of ways. I know Cody is like, oh, fucking Nico. But Nico was a fun person to have around. I liked Nico in terms of his play and his energy. Back when Cody, you remember when like the biggest heel-like personality you had to face off with or rivalry with was Nico? Like, remember when
I'm sorry, Doman was around at some point. Remember that?
I gave Nico and Brooklyn those shots.
It's one of the best edits ever. Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Nico, there's stories I could tell about Nico off like that are amazing.
I'm excited.
Like the day that Tim Smith rest his whatever he's doing now, but man, he came in pissed off one day, angry at the fucking world, and he was just mad and fucking. No, it wasn't even him.
I've heard this story.
Dan Skip Allen. Now that's a guy I miss.
That's a guy.
Skip Allen. Tim, why are you mad? Why are you mad? I don't like mad Tim. I like happy Tim. There's a hole in my roof. No, shout out Adam Collins and
Marisol McKee both did not last long here, but man, they were fun. I liked them both.
Show down poached all our players. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you remember like shout out to the people who did get to go. You know, like whatever you got
my
to go.
My favorite was watching the draft, just knowing our roster was getting.
Remember when we had like 4 people left in 1 year, dude? And then they came back. Rue, Jacoby, you guys play great now. Like that's like
Captain Morgan money, but
yeah. But Rue and Jacoby both this year Player of the Year contenders. They're having great seasons. That's
a conversation. I could give 2 shits about the awards. I've always said that, but the amount of the decisions that will have to be made about who walks away with some of these. Insane.
This is going to be the most competitive year for Melee at the awards ever. Because, like, even when you break it down, Rookie of the Year, I think right now Ryko might be who you'd lay odds on as the favorite. Though the race is so close between, like, him and Tom and Sam from Sam and Tom. And, like,
I don't give compliments a lot. Big fan of Sam and Tom. Easy to edit their name into. By the way, you assholes in this community. Can we stop picking the longest names possible? I try to fit all of them in. I would say some of these about their last names too, but that's besides the point. You can't change that. But my God, fitting your guys' stuff on it, disrespectful.
True. No, Sam Rogal, great guy. I love having Sam around. He's really fun.
Yeah, I have no idea where they came from. He showed up. I like him.
Sam Rogal, celebrity. Tom Hausman.
What?
He was a guest on. He's a guest on Blank Check. Sam Rogal is.
Oh, that's that cult thing you all watch.
Yeah, we're all subscribed to the Cult of Blank Check. But Sam's a guest every now and then. So.
What are you guys watching currently? What are those?
David Lynch.
Torture.
Hey, in 2 weeks, we're about to watch The Straight Story, so that's a movie.
Great movie.
I really like David Lynch movies. I think David Lynch movies.
You're a liar. You're just an absolute. I don't think you watch any of these.
this is like Koho is like a former racist who like is starting to see
What? Hold on. Wait.
and Cody's like, man, stop! Like they're the enemy.
What the fuck was that?
Disavow.
All that. Oh, Cody, I totally forgot. I had a whole sports thing from like 2 hours ago that I was gonna say about who Mark is this season or in his career. Mark is Baker Mayfield. Like, came out hot out the gate, played well, and now he's playing great again in the back half of the. I think this is a good match for Baker Mayfield. Mark Menchaca.
Well, you're saying that's why he's currently dying on the field right now.
Is he? I have not watched the game. Are the Buccaneers like
10.
What? Oh, I'm fucked.
A touchdown and one and two interceptions, 174 yards.
No, I love David. He's a good player.
The
hottest multiplex player, Michael Campbell. That's another person I miss. I miss Michael.
Can we stop? Why are we doing stop?
I love Michael Campbell. I
define these people. What are we doing?
But
Mike
no, but also like even like multiplex melee player of the year. The belt is changed hands all year. Who are you going to vote for? It's insane.
I will appreciate everybody that sticks. Like, I'm envious of fandom every year because they get to just introduce something new or take something away and have fun. Like, drama's still here next year. Like, Meltzer wanted Oscars gone, but Oscars is still here. Like, there are certain things that
we just don't have the ability to add.
We just don't have the fun.
No, but our fun's different. Our fun is giving you totally different structures to the game in your next season.
They introduce new categories. We introduce new colors. All right.
We introduced new divisions. That's what we did with trios.
You have to miss me.
We introduced colors and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's stuff that we can't talk about yet, but we'll get to announce it. It's as big.
I think this year doing the trios, what we did, and I think the introduction of the Pick'em tournament kind of changed everything. So that's pretty exciting.
I have something to say about the whole Oscars debate. I've always said this, like players that are not good at Oscars, they're always the ones that are complaining about the category. Sure, I bet Shaquille O'Neal also complained about free throws. I have an open challenge. If you ever get 10 for 10 in round 2 of Oscars, I will take your complaints in Oscars more seriously. 10 for 10. That's all you got to do.
Wow.
But why?
Because then you're not just someone that's complaining about it because you're bad at it.
Oh, that's fair. Hey guys, I've already taken release dates away from people. I can't take so much. I can't take the data people completely out.
All of his comments great about John 3:16. It's a good one. It's a good comment. The mix-up tournament was a fun time. I think
I'm good.
No, I'm good. Sorry, buddy.
But yeah, no, I think I already made the post. I'm so freaking jazzed about 500 subscribers. That's something I could have never dreamed about. I've been like floating on air because of it all day. So
we can unlock memberships now. That's
everything. Think about how in the next 7 years we might have 1,000. We can have 1,000 subscribers or 0. It could be either. Depends if the channel exists in 5 years. But
Mr. Beast, we're coming for your ass.
Yeah, we are.
PewDiePie, get ready.
Anything else before we wrap up? We're doing an hour and 30. Like this is a nice.
Pace and I could literally do a podcast about fucking nothing.
No, you guys couldn't. It would only last 3 episodes, so don't lie.
Our schedules are hell.
That's just everybody. That's everybody in this community. Hey, we're gonna start a podcast. 3 episodes later, done. Me, Mark, and Matt have completed 3 TV shows, and it will all come out. So, be better. I would love a podcast about Multiplex, though. It'd be funny. Just chat.
Dude, Payson, I could bring back the after show and just rotate people in. It'd be fun.
I would, first debate. Yeah.
I miss the after show. That was so fun. You set me a regular day and time every week. And I'll just make it.
No, let's not. Payson and Coho would get us canceled in a heartbeat. He just went on a racing thing. It would be rough.
He is a former racist who has seen the error of his ways.
That's a terrible analogy. Find a better one. I've never been racist.
Crossover. I don't know what that means, but I'm intrigued.
True.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I didn't even get to mention. Like the stuff that we've done that we don't do anymore. Like Your List Sucks and Multiplex Loves Movies, but also Sports Battlefield and TV Throwdown and like full trivia shows that we used to do that were active belts that were part of everything that like
Nerdgasm.
The original FANZONE.
Bunch of perverts.
You guys remember
K. McMillan, he named it. But no,
Nerdgasm.
I loved.
I thought I won the belt in this FANZONE.
Well, I love that we have been a channel through 500 subscribers in 7 years that has done so much stuff. Not just like stuff that didn't work. We took swings. It's not like we've done the same thing every day, week in, out, consistently change, and maybe grow the whatever. Just the sheer amount of shows we don't do anymore or things that we've tried to do that you can go watch a playlist of in its entirety and get a full story out of is so fun to me. 200 episodes-ish of Your List Sucks.
We hit 200. It was 196 to 200 in this.
Sorry, 200 episodes of Your List Sucks.
Hey, and Rankum is still going. That's crazy.
Should we tell them about our first sponsor that we're getting?
Shut up.
Blue Apron is sponsoring us, guys. We made it.
Oh, we just have to sell 700 boxes to make back the money. No, yeah, Your List Sucks was fun.
I love it.
So good.
The amount of clips that are still floating around here for Your List Sucks is great.
I tried to bring it back last year. It just didn't work.
Nothing different. Something different. Something different was fun. Twohig Trivia Night was a great moment. I love Multiplex Miscellaneous, when it was Brooklyn, when it was me, when it was whoever, when we had when it was basically Kelly and Michael backseat driving the show. Like that whole show was a blast. It was a show by committee, and it was so fun.
You don't know how crucial our live shows really were for pandemic times.
Oh God, yeah. The watch-alongs for Multiplex Loves Movies are some of my favorite things. If you ever, if you ever have a great time, go back, watch all of Your List Sucks, but also watch the Pirates of the Caribbean watch along for Multiplex Loves Movies. That was genuinely one of the best videos we've ever put on the channel.
If you join our membership tier, we'll start doing watch-alongs again. No, we won't.
Start a Patreon. You get to pick a person in the movie, and we do a watch-along.
Dude, if we started a Patreon, man.
For $10 a month, you get to pick one player or one admin to get on call with you, and you pick the movie that they watch with you on call. That's our $10 tier.
All right. I think that's it. Any other questions before we wrap up? It was fun. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for all watching the channel this season. Thank you to all my writers. Thank you to everybody who edited a match for me this year. Thank you to my main four showrunners to help me navigate this entire thing. I joined the video, so you poor bastard. You're getting nothing from that now. They're all back to work.
Brandon Cohen, you rule, by the way.
Brandon Cohen, listen, I'm not a bits guy. I hate bits. Arguably one of the funniest people in this community. He can do all the bits he wants.
He's so funny.
On any channel.
So excited to see more Brandon Cohen next year.
All right. Thank you for watching. Act 5 will be insane turmoil, gauntlet, 3 matches at final act, plus some crucial teams matches and some singles matches to wrap up the season.
Thank you for 500.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yes.